Okay, so today for some reason we put on the suits and everything is working perfectly. If you look at this, we didn't even have to recalibrate. We just put on the stuff and it was fine. And the weirdest part is yesterday so here are some of the things we tried. All the lights are on as usual.
That camera's off still though.
That camera is off. Okay, so that's the security camera, and it has sometimes an infrared thing, and we were wondering if it interferes with the base stations. We moved some of the base stations. That one over there, I don't know if you can see, is now sender more. This one we adjusted as well. The other two we left alone. We eliminated a lot of the USBs that were extra USB things, which were giving us a device problem. But I think one of the key things I did is I now restart Manus Core on the computer. So I turn on the trackers and Steam VR, make sure that's working, and then I restart Manus Core, and then start the Manus software.
Yeah. So, yeah, and why we were fooling with all this yesterday is because yesterday was a complete mess and nothing would work. And we did everything like 3 times, and at the end it was finally kind of working. And then last night we tried it again with just Jose, and we ended up restarting the Manus Core, and it worked after that, and we thought, wait, it worked both times after we restarted the Manus Core. So Jose, being a genius, did that. And solved a couple other problems. So yeah, solved the USB problem. It was sending too much data. And so we were having problems. The gloves, it wouldn't find them almost every time we turned it on until we
Couldn't find the dongles until we would like unplug and plug back in. I noticed in Device Manager there was an issue with too many USBs, I think. So that's what gave me the hint. Let's eliminate them. Now it's finding the Manus gloves is fine.
Mm-hmm. And in the process of upgrading the desktop and putting a new hard drive in there, he also solved the problem with the refresh rate on both the TV and the projector.
I don't know. It's magical. Today, you know how a lot of times I complain that we do stuff and it doesn't work. So we spend like an hour and a half trying to make it all work. Today, for some reason, it just all worked. Now, I noticed we didn't put on our microphones. That would be something if that's what screws everything up.
Seems unlikely.
Seems very unlikely. This one's mine?
Yeah.
This one's yours.
What, have I already input?
Yep, I had it unplugged them and synced them and all that stuff. So all I need to do is slip through the head. Okay. Let's start our clock here and record. I mean, we should have started already, but is it this? You have to hold it more?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we bought a clock to make sure that we kind of stay under half hour.
Change the mode.
Okay.
So that is counting down, and then you just hit start.
It's up. Oh, it's down,
It's
upside
down.
down.
And then you get a 10 seconds to get wherever you're going.
Alright, we bought this little tiny clock. I don't know if you can see it. But it's so that we can keep it off camera, a clock to tell us how long.
Before we overheat.
So let me tell you a few things, because this is interesting. Things that we have done to speed up the process of Mocap, because we have day jobs and we're trying to do this also. So speed was an essential thing. One is Laurel made us this, we call them suits, but basically we just, well, she can say what she did.
I just put Velcro on the back of the straps and on the place where they go on the arms. And then on Jose's, I also I sewed on elastic straps to just give it a little more support so it doesn't come off the thing. And
then we bought these shoes
Yes.
things so that we can permanently attach our trackers to that.
Yep.
So the idea is, get up, we're trying to do it, we just put this on, put on the shoe things, slip on the head and the gloves, and that's it. I mean, it makes it a lot faster than before.
And that's one of the reasons I think that we didn't have to recalibrate this time is because everything's going back exactly where
Exactly
it
in the
was.
same spot,
We
you
had
know, more or less.
the only problem that we had originally was Jose's head was upside down, and we thought, I wonder, and so then we flipped his headband over and it fixed it. So
I fixed it. So that was genius.
Oops.
Oh,
Oh,
and then-
no.
So,
oh yeah, we had a
acrobatics.
moment.
You know, I noticed that if it gets bored, after a while,
That's
it
true.
seems like
You
it
can't
loses.
just talk, you have to move.
You have to move and stuff. Another thing, excuse me, another thing we did, we have time code devices attached to each of these. So we have these little tentacle devices. You can see one over here, like a couple. Laurel moves a little bit. Okay, they're down there. I don't know if you can see that far, but those things make it so that all the screens are in sync with time code. Okay, if you're not familiar with time code, it's just a signal that it sends over, so it lets you, when you're editing, sync up all the devices. These recorders, audio recorders, also have time code. Everything has time code, but the advantage, what we did to speed things up is that we have them all attached. We have one for each device. And also,
Attached to powers because they have internal batteries.
they have internal batteries, but we have them always attached to power. Now, it's not great for the battery, I read, but we don't plan to use them without being attached to power to the screen. So as long as they do that, it saves us a lot of time not having to plug them in every time we want to use all that stuff.
And with Tentacle, because it just goes on an iPhone app, then it doesn't matter how many things you have because they're all in the same app. So you just say sync and it syncs everything.
Right, exactly. So with the software, we just say syncs up everything. We have these a little bit separate, but same thing. We just press a button, syncs up everything.
And the only reason we have them separate is because some of our stuff will not do the 29.97. Some of it has to be 30 frames per second. And so we have the things that are on the thing for 30 on one phone.
We have some that are on 29.97 and some on 30 frames per second. But the biggest time saver maybe is this, right?
The little Stream Deck box.
Stream Deck. Wow, that little box
Is
has
amazing.
saved us a lot. I spent the whole weekend programming it, but basically it lets us have a button just to calibrate each of us.
I mean, there's only 6 buttons, but they are context sensitive. So we've got buttons to get started and then buttons for in each step. So I think we showed you before, we've got lists of everything that needs to be done, but now a lot of that has been compressed to press a button. And even if you think, oh, well, it's not hard to do on the keyboard, it's a little hard because
yes, once you put this on.
once you put the gloves on,
it's
and
really
I don't
hard.
have fingertips, so hitting the right key on the keyboard is hard, but the buttons are big, so hitting one of 6 buttons is much easier.
Right, and so I programmed some macros that do like mouse clicks and all that stuff so that it's a lot easier to just press a button and it starts a calibration for us on Manus. Press another button, it opens Unreal Engine, that kind of stuff. So that has been really good. But what else have we done to do? Well, a minor little thing, but if you notice down here, we have all these Vive
16.
Trackers require 16 of these things. And we used to have to unplug them and then to charge each of these things.
Because it comes with the receiver, the tracker, and one cable, because it figures you're not going to be tracking when you're charging, which is true, but unplugging and replugging all the time, all
Right.
16 of them, is a pain in the
So
butt.
minor thing, but what we did is we got another set of cables, not very expensive to do. You know, we got cables on Amazon, so that we could always leave those plugged in, and we can then charge these independently of that. So
And
we don't
store
have
them where it's convenient for us,
to, right.
because since, you know, some of them are attached to suits and stuff, it screws up all the cables
you're
if you
right.
try and
We wouldn't be
do
able
it.
to do that very easily. So, anything else? Yeah. So also the lights in the studio.
Oh yeah,
the
we got
base-
new lights. Those are amazing.
Yeah, go ahead. So you can tell.
We got these SmallRig RC 120D. They look like little spotlights. They're super light. We have this whole thing on a pole
Yeah.
with,
Wish I had
and
a
it's supposed to be, you know, one of those H kind of setups, but we just have it as a little cross, and so you need something light, or else anytime you adjust it, it wants to tip. But these are light. The pole has the camera, the ambisonic microphone, and the two lights on it, and those two lights light up the whole
Right
room.
up the whole space.
So it got rid
And
of a lot of the noise.
We put it on Stream Deck also, so we just press one button, turns on all the lights.
And the base station.
So today, setup was 15 minutes. That's it. You know, it used to take us an hour and a half.
It used to being yesterday.
Yeah, but we've been like just trying to speed everything up. You know, like have switches to turn off those monitors and on and off.
Right, so both of those monitors are on the same surge protector, and they're the only thing on there. So when we want to start up, we just turn the surge protector on instead of trying to find the things.
We have, like I said, those lights in the base stations, all in. They're called Kasa, I think.
Mhm.
They're like home plugs, like
Smart home plugs.
plugs, and so we can program them with a Stream Deck button and turn them on and off. So anyway, now we have no excuse. Now we have to actually do
Record.
something. We've been working
Struggling
on
with the
the
tools.
setup and all that stuff, but anyway, here we are. And anything else that we do to speed things up? I think that's it. We just have the routine down, and we can set up
Right.
our studio, turn on the lights, turn on our audio, and all that stuff.
And part of why it went faster this morning was because, for instance, our foam tiles with carpet on top, and it collects lint and dirt like crazy. But since I had just vacuumed the whole thing yesterday, then it only took about a minute to re-vacuum it today. So some of it was faster because
Yeah.
we just done it yesterday. But still, it's
But this
nice.
is, I mean, okay, I'm going to put the screens up again so you can see them, but it is so steady today. There's, you know, I saw it like break apart a little bit, but my goodness, yesterday we were having a lot of issues. Like
Yesterday,
body parts
we
were
could not
flying on and off.
calibrate.
We could not calibrate. This has been working really well. We used to have these red lights down for the floor to light up our feet.
Yeah, because we thought maybe, because we had so much problem with noise on the floor,
Video noise.
noise,
Yeah.
that we thought throwing some light down there, but we thought we'd throw some red light either just for interest or, I don't know, to match the floor. But we think that might have been screwing up the
It
calibration.
seemed like it. Every time we try to calibrate our feet, they would not work. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because this red light. This is, if any engineers are watching out there, the worst part about the Steam VR system is there is no way to know what it's doing. Like it's
Where
such
it's
a
aimed at, and
yeah,
kind
where
of
it's
guessing.
aimed at and stuff. Like I think if you were to do like a 3.0 version, if it had a little camera on it or something, that it could give you a view of where it was lined up. Like if you could go with your phone and say, oh, okay, that camera, that base station sees this much, you know,
right.
I'm gonna like move them so to maximize the area of what they're looking at. That would be amazing. But yeah, because it's all light based, you don't know what it's affecting it or what it's interfering, anything. So
you do a lot of guessing with, oh, maybe this light is aimed the wrong way and it's screwing it up, or maybe this is the wrong kind of light, or...
Right. Okay, so we're going to keep going here a little bit. We got 20 more minutes. If we cut it short, it's because it got boring and we ran into trouble. So thank you for tuning in. But we just wanted to give you an update of what we're doing. And now we're going to go to actual work and see if we can record something. So we'll leave the camera running. And if you don't see us, then you know why. All right? Okay, let's keep going here. I'm going to bring up Unreal Engine, our project.
So if you don't remember, what we've been working on is a little vignette where we've got Val under a dumpster wondering where everybody's at. And then separate from her in a different room, we've got all the guys, actually. So the Avocado is having some sort of delirious, he's passed out and occasionally saying random crazy things. Arturo is worried about him and trying to convince the hand to go get Val to help because Val has medical training and used to have a garden, and who knows what might be useful when you're trying to, save an avocado who's been reanimated. But the hand doesn't want to go because there's fire in the way.
Make sure that I come back. Oh, did that freeze altogether? No,
Yeah,
there
well,
we go.
it froze, but it didn't.
Oh,
Hang on, we're getting back.
there we go. Like I said, sometimes if you go out of range, now, again, please send some money to Manus. I know their software is free right now. Just make a donation or something, because we need this to survive. This is like by far the best software that we have tried. We have tried those camera things, Azure Connects. We tried, and then there was IPI Soft or something like that. We tried Perception Neuron 2, Perception Neuron 3. We tried this with some other software.
Yeah.
This is by far the best, and they now have a free version. And for us, it feeds live feeds into Unreal Engine, calibration, it looks great.
And it works with
trackers.
the Vive Trackers, which are not expensive compared to most motion tracking stuff.
Right. And if you don't care about fingers, this is the expensive part of the system. This is the part that we had to buy.
But this is the part that gives money to Manus, who's making the software we love.
Yes.
So worth it.
All right, very worth it. And these gloves are really good with the hands. So yeah, Perception Neuron 3 was cool, and it is a cool system. It will just not give you exact positioning. So this thing where we are right here and we can, do things with the elbows. I couldn't see the screen, but
I mean, it's pretty good though.
it's pretty close.
And it hits the same point every time, and so you can make adjustments
and
not have to readjust every single frame every single time.
Sometimes I feel this might be more data and smoother for some things. Like a weird thing was picking up a piece of paper was really good somehow with this system. But in general, it's harder for us to do stuff together because in this system, in the Perception Neuron 3 system, we would be not even in the same thing. Even if we started and said on purpose, this is our 0 location, if we took a few steps, then I would be over here and she would be over there trying to do this. So anyway, Manus.
But you can go outside with those, which is kind of cool. You're not stuck in
That
your
is
volume.
the advantage of that system is that you don't need to have base stations. You just need to be near a computer with the receiver. So if you have a laptop, you can take that on the road, and that's amazing.
And that's one of the reasons we're hanging on to it, is because we don't know if down the road
Yeah.
what adventures are.
Let's say
guys
we
might
need to
have.
go up steps somewhere or something like that, then we'll put that on and work on the post data. Okay,
Okay,
so
you're stuck again.
yeah,
The avocado gets stuck. It's weird. Arturo doesn't, but the avocado gets stuck in place. His fingers are moving.
his fingers are moving. I think yesterday all we did was I don't know. You know what I think it is that I don't know, because both of your characters are working, right?
Yeah. I was like, hey, but the faces aren't moving because we don't have on the face thing.
Right.
But
Right, I think.
hi, the hand.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna have some fun today, and we might not be talking too much, but I bought a scene. I bought a scene of a cemetery. I'm gonna put it in to a level. I'm gonna throw in the hearts, and we're going to shoot a little scene, just us talking and stuff. I have a tail. I apologize for that. This thing keeps coming off. So if you see a tail, that's why. We're gonna have to
You have to tape it.
tape it or something. All right, so I'm gonna do that. Let's just we went to Unreal Engine Marketplace and we bought a cemetery. I'm gonna open it up here, and again I'll capture the screens. I'm recording the screens so that you can see them. Would you remember the thing, right?
Yeah, I remember. But I don't remember if we shot some of that before for everybody or if we were just in there.
No, we've
for us.
never done it for everybody.
No? Okay.
So if we go to the library.
So I remember sort of talking through, but that might have just been when we were looking at it. I sort of remember sitting on the couch and talking through this conversation they were having.
Okay, so let's see where it is. Aha, graveyard, cemetery, stylized. Okay, let's add it to the project. This says add to the project, and we're gonna look at the, okay, FDR, Buffalo Theater Recording, add to project. Alright, so no guarantee that this set will work on the VR headset without some type of modifications. But I'm going to
A lot of
add
the
it to a
scenes.
project, and there should be a new level now. Let's see if go back to the content browser. Aha, I see stylized graveyard, and it says that there's a scene, graveyard level. Let's open it up and take a look. You know, I wonder if the avocado was working better when I put on the headset yesterday. I don't know. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. But
I know we
don't
just
know
restarted
why.
everything and he started working again.
Yeah.
It's
But
weird,
can't
right,
it-
with
since we haven't
electronics.
rebooted the machine, can't it think that we restarted it, from yesterday? So that it doesn't know. We
don't
haven't
know.
rebooted, so. Okay. Some error messages is compiling some stuff, but let's see where we are. I don't know if this is, yeah, this is a scene here, right? Okay, that's cool.
So did you pick one that was marked for Oculus? Or no?
I don't remember. I think maybe. There's a shovel. Alright, let's see. Let's put the hearts somewhere in here. Where do you think?
Well.
You can look at any of the screens. It's over
Yeah,
there too.
fine.
You can't
But-
see over my shoulder.
I could.
Alright. How about like somewhere around here maybe?
Oh yeah, sure.
That seems cool, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So originally we were talking about the scene being Arturo has made what he thinks is a very cool romantic picnic for the two of them near their graves, and I think it might be an anniversary of when they either died or came back or something.
Okay, now the hearts when they are dropped in, they start very big because they're the scale of a human head right now. And we figured out that they need to be scaled down to what?
0.3.
0.3. Okay, so let's do that. Lock and do 0.3. Aha! It's very tiny
Yes.
now on the side. I don't know if you can see it. Put the screens
Yeah,
up.
you can see them a
You
little
can
bit.
see them there. All right.
But yeah, it'll be above, and that'll make it a little easier. But yeah, to get them a little closer to the size of a human heart, and that also puts them closer to the right size to be friends with the hand and the avocado.
Yeah, they're all about the same size. All right. So we got that. And now we're going to put Val in there. All right. So let's drag in Val. And I'm going to start her up in the same location, and then we'll move her to the side a bit. Okay. So here is Val, and I'm going to paste the location, and I'm going to change the size to 0.3. Okay.
There she is.
And there she is. Don't know why the location wasn't exactly the same.
No, she's at
Right.
the.
I know exactly why.
Why?
Because you're moving.
Oh, right. And you put the zeros as the same.
Ah. Yes. So we should be together
If we're together.
if we're together, right? Kind of.
Pretty close. I think the 1/3 thing may offset us a little.
Yeah, I think so too. For some reason, changing the scale afterwards did that. Oh, I know what else. I'm rotated,
Ah,
and I didn't copy the rotation.
got it.
So yeah, so if we, you know what, I could probably reset the rotation. Let's see where we end up without any
Rotation.
rotation. So I think what we want to do is face that thing, right?
All right.
So we can see each other, but then
Can
we
you
were
zoom
talking
in?
about, yeah, I mean, we can make it bigger. But, and definitely I can zoom in to see us.
Yeah, let's see them on.
But what I want to know is, like, you know, we're talking to them.
Yeah.
So should we face that? But then we can't see ourselves.
Sure,
we
can.
we don't have a monitor behind this. So
We
that
can
it-
still
it would
though,
be-
because you can look past me, so you're kind of, you know,
Okay.
like
so
when
we
you talk
kinda
to two people at
facing
the same
each- Looking
time.
at each other.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I can definitely zoom in more. Oops. What did I do?
Well, maybe because you came and sat down, you're farther away.
Maybe. No, I'm
No.
still here. I moved
Disappeared.
something by mistake. I think. Undo. Yeah, I must have moved something. Okay. Orbit around here. All right. So here we are. Now, are we together? Let's stand side by side. Like, in order.
Seems like you're together.
I think my character's less tall. A little bit.
You don't
Shorter?
float as high as mine.
Yeah, that's it. So, okay. Now we have to be closer to the floor, so we'll have to bring us down.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, which way do I need to rotate any character? Where do you want to?
Well, why don't you face your feet? You know?
But how do we see each other?
So,
Don't
we see each other there?
I think so. Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Sometimes it would be nice to be able to have an instead of a top-down view.
Yeah, exactly. But also let me zoom in a little more and then bring us down a little more. Okay. So here we are. You know, it's almost cooler maybe to be I don't know. This is cool. All right, I'm going to work on bringing your character down because I can't do that with mine so easily. So, no, doesn't want to. Okay.
Ah. I just fell through the floor.
Okay. How about like that?
Alright, do I clear the wax? Yeah, oh my god, that seems good.
I think it could go down a little bit more.
Maybe, but then every time we go over the shoulders of the candles, we would lose,
Yeah.
whereas here we're sort of, you don't want to walk through the candle, but you can walk around it and you're not.
So one of the things that is kind of funny that we're going to have to do is that we need a backstory that tells people why we float around, because there's no way we're going to be able to do these hearts realistically where it's like they roll or whatever.
Yeah, or bounce and squish or whatever.
They just sort of float. They're going to have to, because otherwise that's going to be really, really hard to do.
If you were doing classical animation or stop motion, you could do the bouncing and squishing, and there's all kinds of, tools for that, but we're doing mocap, and I'm not going to be able to realistically bounce the whole way.
So somebody either put a spell on them or did something that made them appear like that gave them the ability to float. Or we just don't explain it, and it's just
It's Flopsville.
It's just a thing. Mine is going down more.
Yeah, you need to bring yours up a little.
Is it because of the tallerness? Maybe. Or my character just has, and how come I'm like...
Well, now you're standing in the middle of the candle.
Okay, I can't stand in the middle of the candle.
Here. If we're going to keep the scene, we'll need to mark the floor, but go stand there.
Okay.
So you
Hello,
still
everybody.
need to be up a little bit.
Okay. So why don't I stand here? You want to move
Why
me
don't
up?
you stand on the clear?
But hey, you know what? We're going to have to say goodbye because it's been about a half hour.
You're right.
So we're going to keep working here. You guys stay creative too over there and do your thing.
All right.